Hi everyone and welcome to the second part. So let's leave the Sun square Neptune because that also means that if we want to take life a bit immaturely, and Gemini loves that because Gemini is the adolescent of the zodiac, then we are in for disappointment, then we are in for letdown, then we are in for wanting to misinterpret everyone's word and wanting to be a victim. So we are going to be let down, but if we want to be a victim, then we make sure that things go really really badly. If we are forgiving and don't want to make it worse for ourselves, then we just sulk for 5 minutes and let it go. Because we don't have to dramatize or spiritualize everything. Because that is also Sun squaring Neptune. Everything can be spiritualized, even the bad things, even misinterpretations, even like, I'm doing that already because this is also my natal sun, but I'm trying to stop myself from being very very immature. Like for example, if someone even smiles at an astrological advice I give them, but this is face to face, I immediately take it and why are you laughing? I'm doing this from my heart, and the victim immediately. So yeah, this also activates the shadow. And Mercury enter going back to Gemini, and we express it. So let's make sure that we express the good decision, the choice, who it is that we are, who it is that we are not. Express ourselves correctly and not really the shadow, the victim. Let's not allow the victim to have all the attention this week. Let's allow us our sanity and diligence to play the cards, because Saturn trine the Sun, that is the blessing here. If we make good choices, standing from a place of diligence and fair judgment in everything, Saturn retrograde, then we harvest very immediate quick rewards. And even from the past Saturn retrograde, this can be where if we are dignified, if we behave dignifiedly, and that means speak dignifiedly about ourselves, identity, work, whatever, then the rewards from the past, delayed gratification, comes online. You don't have to work as hard, you have help, people want to be nice to you, people want to smile, you can't stay upset because people help you. This is the good side of this energy. And then we get to the domain of Sagittarius, the opposite sign of Gemini, on the 14th of June, because we have a super full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. So the sun illuminates the moon from Gemini. This is a mental energy, and this is where we harvest the rewards, but the reward is our illumination, us being able to see and feel and perceive and understand the big picture of everything that we did right, with changing our mindset, our everyday thoughts, our thinking, basically, where we stopped ourselves from criticizing, where we stopped the doom and gloom, where we stopped the inner, please forgive me, the inner bitch, regardless of your gender, the inner bitch, the queen of, in tarot, that's the queen of swords. If we put a stop to the queen of swords, not good enough, not this, not that, not, then we already achieved a big big triumph, and we are going to see that beautifully at this Sagittarius full moon. But I don't have a video of my own about this full moon, but I do have one for Nadia Shah. So if you want to learn more about this full moon in the sign of Sagittarius, stay tuned to her channel. I don't know when she's gonna publish it, but she probably will. So another thing which I want to mention is that the moon is conjunct the galactic center, not tightly, but this is where it's also a lot of divine energy here. This is where you see what you believe, your beliefs manifest. But that symbolically is very very lived, because we have this Venus very active in Taurus at the same time, and Chiron with Mars. This can heal your wounds. This whatever healthy mind manifests, because healthy mind attracts healthy faith, healthy faith attracts spiritual energies, attracts divine downloads. It makes your mind a temple. Your mind, your higher mind is a temple, should be okay for everyone, more or less. But if someone's real mind is a temple, well, they become artists, they become clerics, they become unofficial ones, but they become something divine, a divine vessel. So your thoughts are going to be beautiful. You will see the beauty in everyone, everything, the perfection of the divine in a flower, in a leaf, in a person, in a tree, and everything. And that does stuff. That physically, in any way, shape, and form, does stuff to you, to your life, to the life of your family, to your life of your true friends. You make the world a better place because you live already in a sub-dimension where I, at the beginning of this horoscope, I said about generating the moon conjunct the galactic center, generating a dimension of our own. A dimension ruled by Jupiter, the ruling planet of this full moon, super full moon. And Jupiter is that which we embodying our faith. If our faith is harmony, if our faith is about beauty, about love, everyone's religion and faith on every human being should be about love. So if that is what we do, if we allow ourselves to be portals of love, regardless of which expression, because in tarot Gemini is the lovers, right? So we're lovers under this energy. All of us are Gemini, right? Not just me, because I'm Gemini. Not just us Geminis, but everyone is right now a Gemini, an adolescent. So be a portal to love, be a lover, however you can be. Like, let's say if you have like a very strong fire sign energy, so you're not that gentle, you're not that romantic, but you're true as a lover. How should I say this? You're very passionate, but in a true way. Give that's perfect, that makes you divine for the person who needs that. Sorry. So whatever makes you the lover, if you're a poet, you start writing, something makes you a lover, so do that, generate that, be that. And under this energy, you will see your faith play out before your eyes. Now, of course, under the same energy, T-squaring Neptune, this will drown those who are unwise. Sagittarius requires wisdom, lived wisdom, practical lived wisdom, but not just in human way, but also in a divine way. Like, for example, university professor who is not religious at all, but he works with you know what I want to say, you know. So it works with the ideal, basically. That's already divine, even if it's not religiously or spiritually divine. It's still divine because it's a thought, it's an idea that never existed before, and he is gonna prove it. The thesis, you know. So this is how it works. But if we want to prove something bad to ourselves, then we will prove that bad to ourselves. If we want to be the victim, if we want to stay upset, if we want to be hurt, if we want to be let down, if we want to be brokenhearted, keep on doing it because you're on the right track. But you won't be thankful because this Neptune is gonna really drown. But if you're focusing on something truly sacred, let my breakthrough finally come, or something, I want to help this person, that person, I want to travel and see the world, Sagittarius, I want justice to be done, but in a pure way, not selfish way, this energy is gonna help you a lot. Now Venus, besides her conjunction, also holds at the end of the week a square to Saturn. So this is a financial or value reality check. Those of us who usually like minimalistic are gonna find this energy quite prosperous, in the sense that maybe Saturn tells you when you should not be minimalistic, well, stop it for the sake of principle, a square, a conflict. Minimalism does not represent self-torture, especially if you have a choice. So it will slap some of us to wake up. For those of us who love luxury and to have a lot and to have excess, they will have to cut down a lot. This is where if you have 10 companies, you will remain with one. But this isn't where it manifests immediately. This is where you already know that if you don't do it yourself, it will manifest. But this Venus also sextiles Neptune. That's romance, that's love, that's the good kind of spirit. That's when prepare to be disappointed in a good way. This is where if you received a lot of disappointment in love, perhaps with this Uranus as well, who knows? Who knows what kind of surprises you might get? And there is also finally at the very end of the week and going into next week as well, Venus trining Pluto. This is when, as I said, whatever decision, choice, energies played out in your life in January and February or even December last year, this is when, you feel it. You live it, you feel it. If you made the choice now, you are thankful. If you done something, you harvest the reward. If you committed to yourself into a relationship, you are feeling that it's worth it. If you have were patient with your partner because they were wounded, this is where the partner is showing you the love, showing you how they are when they're healed. This can be a beautiful energy because it gives you empowerment. This is also sexually healing profoundly. If you were neglected, abandonment issues, if you think you're ugly because your partner could not show you how beautiful you are, your ex-partner, sorry, this Pluto can really surprise you in the most delightful ways, especially corporally, because Venus in the sign of Taurus, 5 senses. You might get a lover, maybe that lover will stay with you for one night, because fate, Pluto likes that. They're a foreigner and their plane is next tomorrow. But what you'll experience with that person, that will be profoundly healing. And probably the next holiday will be booked in your city as well. So, this is where fated connections of Plutonian nature enter reality. So this can be a really, really good energy. Now, this also, because this is 2022, usually, Venus trines Pluto every year. It's not a big deal. Really, it's not. And Venus trined Pluto from Taurus even, I think, last year. Not a big deal. But if we take into consideration eclipses, Uranus, and whatever else happened in 2022, also the non-astrological side, well, if you swear that you are the hermit person and you will be alone forever and no one will make you feel whatever, give next week a chance. Because even if nothing happens next week and you will say, oh Zen, see, I was right, you're a false prophet, Pluto likes surprises. This energy will reactivate. So give it a chance. And also, the Sun will hold a quincunx with Pluto, an in conjunction. Now that is weirdness because Pluto is also a financial energy in the sign of Capricorn. This is where, we might make unusual financial management choices. I'm sorry. So the good side of this energy is those unusual, unlike your customs and traditions and what you learned from your parents, or might actually lead you to something very, very constructive and positive on the long term. But it can also lead to unnecessary suffering. Unnecessary cut downs, unnecessary friendships, don't make stupid compromises. This is where someone, Pluto in Capricorn, promises you the sea and the salt, so everything. And you naively believe it, and you're let down, and you wasted all that energy, you know? But if you feel that you trust someone out of instinct, out of your gut, you know that they're a liar because they have bad reputation. But something inside of you, the shadow even, the sinful self even, says just this once, go with them. And you get an unexpected benefit. Or this is how an in conjunction works. Nothing is safe, nothing is certain. You have to make the decision there and then. Are you following it or are you not? And with the sun, it's the ego, it's your identity. It's unlike you. The situation is unlike you. This isn't even outside of your comfort zone. This is simply unlike you. But financially speaking, you know, some people will make that good decision, other people will make a not so wise decision. So they will just get themselves into unnecessary debt, if that even makes sense. So another thing that I would like to speak about in this horoscope, well, this is where this week is also one where we may feel that we are not really in control of things because people come and go, they act weirdly, we make weird choices, schedules don't match up, but not in a Mercury retrograde way, but in a way where the schedule is our master and not vice versa. Because in Mercury retrograde it just goes haywire and everyone's in chaos. But this is where perhaps time will start to rule us more than it should. So this is where time will be an issue. May we feel time as something purely subjective and inward, as in, I feel that I don't have time, that I'm too old. Anything which has to do with time. I'm not ready, or I'm ready, or it's too late, it's not too late, anything like that. This thing being felt subjectively, well, you know, ultimately that's not a big deal. But if this is something that also plays out in life, deadline, date, sorry, and when I say date, not the kind of date, the romantic date, where you have to do this and that, document this and that, contract this and that, repair work, electric work, safety, health and safety check, fire, safety, whatever. This all comes on their own accord and you cannot postpone it, like it or not. Even if it's the saddest or happiest moment in your life, you have to leave it to the side and go and do this nitty-gritty of life. But at the same time, we have a Venus and Saturn square. So that's where, what do I do? Do I love it? But this is where you're not confused. You want to be confused, but you're not, because in your heart of hearts, Saturn, you know that you don't love it. You don't that it's not gonna work anymore, or the contrary, as bad person as they are, you still love them, and you're still gonna go along. You know your truth already, you feel it, but you try to negotiate with the heart or with the mind, but find excuses until you kind of reach the truth. But this is not easy. This takes time and feeling sorry for yourself and asking advices and people telling you the same thing that you already know and feel. So this takes time. This takes phone calls. This takes text message, internet, maybe a horoscope from someone, a reading from someone. This is the kind of Venus Saturn. This is what you should expect. Or if it plays out purely professionally, you read it 10 million times when you were a student and you still take out the lexicon, the whatever, and to be totally sure that you're not stupid. So sometimes you question yourself as a professional for no real reason, just because you're in that mood. You're in a Saturnian mood. So for some people, this isn't even as real as for others, yet it still makes equally all of our lives as difficult. But Neptune's in the mixture as well with the sextile. So this Venus is being almost like pulled to 10 trillion directions by other planets. Uranus being in her sign, even if the conjunction is already passed, is bad enough, so she's stressed out. The North Node is there as well. It was never as important as this Venus in the sign of Taurus season for Venus herself, because she's on the spot. It's her ruling sign, so she is responsible. And she's being aggressed by Saturn. She's made to feel responsible by the karmic judge, as in he's not giving Venus flowers, he's like putting on the binoculars and seeing if Venus is executing everything that she has to correctly. And this is the Saturn square. So our Venus is being judged by ourselves. Are you sure that that's what you feel? Because it doesn't make sense. And Venus says, yeah, I'm sure. Believe it or not, this is what I feel. And then Saturn has to make the judgment. How do I live with the bad person? How do I change them? How do I support them? Or I love this job despite the fact that it takes away my opportunity for finances, but I'm not gonna leave it. How do I make it work and also live at the same time? Practicality. But the Neptune sextile, the ideal, the magic, the manifestation, even the illusion, even the Maya, even our own spirits playing tricks on us in the good sense, inspiring us. It's not easy, it's dual, but we still have to make choices, decisions, because this is also a wrap up. And this is also Gemini season, so it's dual. We have this option, that option, black, white. It's not going to be a very, very easy week, but the solution is in the sky as well. The Neptune square, Neptune Sun square. Why is that the solution? Well, because ultimately, oh, I'm sorry. I must be allergic to something, that's why I'm having problems. Maybe this flower here. So, the problem is actually the solution, because let me just interpret the Neptune Sun square and also the T square, the full moon, in a very primitive way, in a very religiously primitive way. Because the devil is in the details. The devil is almost like personified energy, but it's in the details. It's the inner voice that tells you, look at the nitty gritty. It's chipped. It has a small microscopical chip in it. Go and refund it. So it will take away your pleasure. Maybe that object is divinely blessed, synchronistically, but the devil chipped. Go and refund it to something worse. Perfect physically, but not divine anymore. But this goes for us. Who do we choose? The victim. I'm not good enough, I'm tired, I'm ugly, I'm alone, I can't forgive. Or, I'm tired, lonely, all of that, but please help me. I still see myself succeeding somehow. Even if I'm not good enough, then show me how to be good enough. Come on, you can do it, as in the divine. You speaking to the divine, to your higher self. Do whatever you want. But this is how you alchemize it in a good way. And by the end of that self-therapy session, it won't be asking for help. It will be, okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm already feeling it. So you will just heal yourself. Use Neptune always into your advantage. Well, it's an illusion, ultimately. And yes, you lied to yourself, Neptune. Because in that second, of course, you are not better than you were 10 minutes ago. But the feeling, the attitude, the orientation is different. That's different. That's why you know that it's not a lie anymore, because that lie, the Neptune, is going to be part of tomorrow because you're determined. That's it. But the same goes if you do the opposite and you don't know that you're doing it. If you ruin your day, if you program it to be doomy and gloomy, then that's what you're gonna get. There is one thing when you allow yourself to feel it, and when you instigate yourself to drown in it, not just feel it, not to be able to escape from feeling it, that's a totally different thing. And as naive, divine children that all of us are, many times, well, we don't know the difference between the two. All we know that we're depressed, but we don't know if we are actually healthy, depressed in the sense that we're allowing certain pains to be felt. Now, if someone, your best friend, disappointed you, you will not sweep that under the rug forever. There will be a moment when you will just get sad, you won't know what's wrong, you will think back and then you will realize what's wrong, cry it out, allow yourself, and then accept it. But there is something when you just cannot allow yourself to rise up from the deep. This is where even when you wanna think, well, at the end of the day, it is what it is, it doesn't matter. If that is how this friend or whatever, replace friend with whatever disappointed you. But then immediately your inner voice tells you, but how can you even think of detaching yourself when you have a lot of more tears to cry, you have a lot more pain to process? That is when you have to say stop, because you're not me, because you're not my inner voice, because I know exactly who it is that you are, and get out from my head. That is what we should be doing under this Neptune, Sun, and of course the full moon T-square, the whole full moon, especially the full moon, because the moon is also portal to the not so good version of faith and faith-based energy and being and whatever. So yes. This is where we have to truly stop ourselves and say, what am I doing? Am I divinely making my situation worse, wanting this, wanting to drown, wanting not to ever be better, wanting to misinterpret everything in life? That means that I enjoy it on one hand, as twistedly as this sounds. That's what it really is. An inner part of you, the shadow, enjoys it. The shadow loves the depression and you doing its work for him, her, whatever. But when the shadow is extremely powerful for no rational reason, well, you know that Neptune is being used in a not so divine way. Somehow, somewhere, and you are subject to that energy. So that is where immediately you have to clean yourself up. Stop what you're doing. Stop the thoughts. Stop the feelings. Shower immediately. Clean your house. Clean yourself. And make sure that the depression is actually yours. Make sure that you haven't already processed it and something just wants you like that. And this may sound BS to you, but this is when Neptune is active in this very unique way. Because Neptune in the sign of Pisces is very rare in itself. So the expression of that energy is just as rare. Even if we have a lot of years of this, but we're still not used to it. Are we? The world was never as insane as it was now, and that's Neptune. And this is where everything is insane. The papers from authorities are more insane than Jules Verne's insanity officially. They require me to be insane. For like we had whatever that's called, when they taking into account the population in my country, census or something. The questions there were pure, like pure insanity, and I had to do it. So that's insanity. And the storybook, or I don't know, that makes perfect sense to me. I can totally relate to that. I see the logic, ration, I see the good that it does when I read it. So all of you, everyone, me, you, everyone is in this also. So it's not just me, it's you as well. So yeah, we have to make sure that Neptune does not carry us the wrong way. We must make Neptune our own. We have to dominate Neptune ultimately, because we have to make the illusion to be something beneficial and pure and good-willed, and then we do a good job. If you write a poem, a story, paint, sing, go to the playground with 5-year-old children, play in the sand, whatever you can do with that Neptune, do it. That's a big plus, A plus. But if you do dwell in doom and gloom or not so good fantasies of any nature, that's bad. So anyway, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much everyone for the beautiful comments and the support and everything. I'm trying my best to reply and all that. So thank you so much. Until next time, bye for now.